And here she is, the blonde bombside herself, Miss Lily Savage.
In the history of queer Britain, Paul O'Grady, aka Lily Savage, was that bridge from the era of outcasts to acceptance.
Well, good evening and welcome to my little show. I'm not drunk, it's these mules that are death strapped.
That fierce tongue, that towering wig, that said unashamedly, we're here and we're on your TV.
I've just paid 75 pence for half a cider and I'm not budging from this bar until I've drunk it.
Born in Birkenhead, O'Grady started off helping vulnerable children before becoming a social worker down in London. His working-class roots and that desire to help all would stick with him throughout. When later working at Channel 4, he would insist that every position had to be advertised at the local job centre.
Hello.
Yet come 1978, the daytime Camden councilman had another job, performing as Lily Savage, and he soon began residency at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern.
Paul came out of Liverpool, he's a little bit rough around the edges. He brought his character and his style. But in terms of drag artists before him, like, none of them were really out as being gay. But Paul was actually the first one to come out and say, this is how it is with me.
Savage was performance and protest, coming of age during the devastating AIDS epidemic and when the police raided the RVT in 1987 with Savage on stage.
And a copper burst in the dressing room. And I, of course, thought he was a stripper. And they were so rude and so aggressive. And when I came out on the stage there behind me, they were all wearing, the place was heaving, and they were all wearing rubber gloves. And of course I said, oh, good, if you come to do the washing up.
How formative or profound do you think that infamous 87 raid was on Paul O'Grady?
He was very much a spoken voice in terms of preserving our rights.
Emerging from those dark and difficult 1980s, Savage was nominated for a Perrier Award in 1991 and her trailblazing TV career began.
Do you want a whiff? It's awful, I can smell it.
I grew up in Bognor Regis. I didn't meet a queer out person until I was in my teens, but we saw Lily Savage having breakfast on Channel 4, eating a banana and innuendo with Julian Clary or whoever the guest of the day was, and that is iconic.
From the big breakfast to blankety blank, Lily never forgot her stage show beginnings, happy to be outrageous, even drunk.
Oh, Chichonia. People say to me, why would you never get up as yourself and do stand-up? And I always say, because that would be my opinion. And I'd be scared of offending, to tell you the truth. But as Lily, you can get away with murder.
Wasn't it good? Oh, so good. Oh, so fine.
But he would soon forget all that and retire Lily to a convent in Brittany. And so Paul O'Grady gained a TV show, lost the wig, but kept the Savage, speaking out against Tory austerity.
That we are not taking these draconian cuts lightly. We should fight for the rights of the elderly, of the poor.
But amidst all this, Paul was still Lily, angry and unafraid, and that showed so many that you could still be the same person, the same you, either in drag or out of it.
Lily and Paul O'Grady, you know, it's one career, but they managed to do light entertainment, cutting-edge bar work, and be true to themselves.
As O'Grady became a household name, his repertoire expanded, his programmes detailing his tireless work with Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. That led him to forge a friendship with Camilla, the Queen Consort, who today said his warm heart and infectious humour lit up the lives of so many. What a story for a man who made his name as a queen on a South London stage to today be mourned and remembered by one. Not bad for the blonde bombshell from Birkenhead.
Well, earlier I spoke to Paul O'Grady's close friend, the Labour peer and actor Michael Cashman, and I asked him how they'd met.
Well, we became friends actually before I went into my famous role in EastEnders. I met him at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern, a gay pub in South London, which was infamous for its drag. And when I first saw him, it was just amazing. There was no one like him. I mean, he did everything from Marlene Dietrich leaning up against a lamppost, and when he walked, the lamppost went with him, to his Savage. And it was like watching a lion tamer with two whips. And then when I went into EastEnders, I mean, my late husband and he and I became friends, and Paul and I were there on the barricades. We were there on the Pride marches. We were there in the AIDS hospices. Wherever there was a fight for equality, Savage was there, and he was never Paul O'Grady. to me or to my Paul, he was always savage. A man with a tongue like a whiplash and a heart as big as a wagon.
I mean, how much of the man did those of us who didn't know him in person really get to see?
He and I were on the election campaigns together because, yes, he fought for LGBT equality, but for him, a child going hungry was as important as all of the other rights and the obligations that he fought for. You saw the man. That was the interesting thing, that we just got a scaled down version in private. That's why he connected across so many different areas of society and different levels, because what you saw was the real man. He didn't put on airs and graces. He never forgot where he came from. He never forgot the poverty. He never forgot the work that he did as a social worker, working with young children with what we used to call special educational needs. He was just a spectrum of so many different emotions, but the one single man, the one single personality. And
what you've revealed is sort of quite how political he was. I mean, there were tributes to him today in Prime Minister's Questions. You'll have seen it in the House. The Deputy Prime Minister suggested that Paul O'Grady, wouldn't have had any truck with wokery. Oh, is that right?
No. So I'd love to have Savage telling some of those who are now against drag queens what he thought of them. He was unbridled in standing up for justice and equality and social justice. So he'd probably call himself a proud woke, because actually a woke means you're standing up for those people who are often unheard, unseen, or brushed away.
And yet, for a man with all of that, he slept in the Queen's bed.
Yes, we were in Northern Ireland. Mo Mowlam put on a wonderful show celebrating the ordinary men and women of Northern Ireland, and Savage was there to do a benefit. And Mo said, get him back to Hillsborough Castle. And we got him back along with a few others. And I said to Mo, stay up, I'll wake you in the morning, stay up, it's going to be a good night. Off she went eventually. When I woke in the morning, I remember Savage carrying me to my bed, got up, woke the Secretary of State and thought, right, I'll go back to bed. And suddenly there was a loud bang at my door. The staff knew me and they went, Mr. Cashman, there's someone sleeping in the Queen's bed. And I thought, oh my God, Savage. And I was right. But typical for him, we got him out of bed, upstairs, in the kitchen. He was having a fag with a toast and a cup of tea, and some of the women popped their head around and said, Mr. Cashman, is that Lily Savage? And I said, yes, it is. They went, can we have his autograph? And out he came. He was also, he slept in a few other beds. He never forgot where he came from. He learnt his trade in the pubs and the clubs like the great variety stars. And Lily Savage, some refer to it as a drag act. Absolutely not. Lily Savage was a creation, and all of the public performances that we saw will not be easily forgotten. An icon.
Michael Cashman, thank you very much.